tell you why there's some real beauties. After question 10, which is way too long to read, we've got some fantastic ones involving old school science formulas, and I love these. It says in question 11 on page 172, Mal is using the formula, and it's a real beauty. S equals ut plus half a t squared. I so remember this from school, it's good fun. Right, find S when u equals 12. So I'm going to substitute u equals 12 in there. I'm going to substitute t equals 5 seconds, and that t is also 5 because it's the same t, and a, the acceleration, is minus 9.8. Now, plenty of opportunities to get this wrong. There's so many fiddly numbers, halves, squares and minuses as well. And let's find s when we can. So substitute carefully. S equals 12 times 5 plus a half is 0.5 times the acceleration, minus 9.8, times 5 squared. That's how I recommend you set it out. Well, let's do it in bits. 12 fives are 60 plus 0.5 times minus 9.8 times 25, because 5 squared is 25. So again, I'm not going to rush this. I want to get it correct. I'm in my exam now, so let's just work it out. 0.5 times minus 9.8 times 25 equals, that's a negative answer, and that's minus 122.5. Now I just do the sum. 60 plus minus 122.5. In other words, 60 take away 122.5. So I'm going to do that right now. Bam. That gives me minus 62.5. And that will begin with, well, that's that one. Then it says find u when s equals 20. Well, that's awful. S equals ut plus half a t squared. Find u when s equals 20. Oh, lovely. I'll work backwards. And the time is 3 seconds. And the acceleration is minus 9.8. And the time is still 3 seconds. Lovely. Now, get good at BODMAS, will you? Here we go. 20 equals 3 times u, because u times 3, 3u, plus half times the acceleration, minus 9.8, multiplied by 3 squared. Let's tidy up a little bit. 20 equals 3u plus, it's going to be a negative value because of that, but anyway. So 3 squared is 9, you know, don't you? So it's 0.5 times negative 9.8 times 9 gives us minus 44.1. Let's tidy up a little bit. 20 equals 3 times u minus 44.1. Simple equation. Bring that over and add it. So I've got 3 times u equals 20, because it was there first, plus 44.1. That comes to 64.1. Now we simply divide by 3 to get u by itself. So u equals 64.1. Divide that by 3. That gives me 21.4, and that is to 1 decimal place. I could have gone further. 21.3666. Alright, so 21.4 to 1 decimal place is alright, because I've got 1 decimal place in the question, so 1 dp is okay for that. Alright, I fancy question 12 as well. That's why I'm doing this. It's a real beaut. Question 12. Mary is using the formula a equals pi r squared. You know what that is, the area of a circle. Right, and the radius of course is r. It says use the formula to find the area of a circle when r is 5. Simple, shove a 5 in there. Well, I've got area equals pi, well that's 3.14 times 5 squared. That's 3.14 times 25. 3.14 times 25 gives us 78.5, and the units will be centimetre squares because the radius is in centimetres. Done. Use the formula to find the radius of a circle with an area of 78. Okay, so I've got 78 equals pi r squared. So the radius squared is going to be 78 divided by pi. That's going to be 78 divided by 3.14. Let's just work that bit out. 78 divided by 3.14. Bam. So the radius squared comes to whatever this was just now, and that's 24.8. That's good enough, or 84. And now to get the radius on its own, just hit that square root button. 24.84 square rooted, and the radius is going to be, I'll get back to you in a second, bam, 4.98. In other words, it's approximately 5 centimeters. So then they made us work backwards. See, we worked out an area of 78.5, then they gave us an area of 78. It doesn't, it's sensible that the radius should end up being about 5 again. Alright, now question 13 is an absolute must. It's one of these little brain teasy things. In fact, let's give it its own page. It's a beauty. Terence is cooking a chicken in the oven. Got that? Terry. The chicken weighs 7.2 pounds in weight. I missed the N out. Do it again. It weighs, oh, wrong one. It weighs that much pounds in weight. Right. The cookbook says cook in the oven for 20 minutes per pound. Okay, so 20 minutes in the oven per pound of meat. Pound per pound. Right. And an extra 20 minutes. That'll be for browning it off, make it all nice and crispy. So plus 20 minutes. Right. Take out the oven and allow to rest for 10 minutes before carving. Okay, so wait for an extra 10 minutes before we can even get to eat the thing. Terence wants to carve the chicken at 12:45. So I suppose he wants to have dinner at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, doesn't he? That's when he wants to carve the chicken. Target time for lunch. Let's all go around to Terry's to eat chicken. What is the latest time that Terence could put the chicken in the oven? Okay, let's just review. It's a 7.2 pound chicken. I've got to put it in the oven for 20 minutes for every pound, plus an extra 20 minutes to make it all crispy. Then take it out of the oven and add on 10 minutes to let the meat rest before you carve it. And I want to sit down to start carving the thing at 12:45, ready to start chewing it all up by 1 o'clock. Probably a Sunday roast. Right, 20 minutes per pound. Right, here I go. So 7.2 times 20 minutes, then add on 20 minutes extra in the oven to crisp it off, then add on 10 minutes to let the meat rest. Alright, this is all in minutes, don't forget. So 7.2 times 20 equals, so I've got 144 minutes there, plus my 20 plus my 10, so altogether I'm going to get an extra 30 minutes on top of that, so that gives me 174 minutes. Okay, so from putting it in the oven to letting it rest, 174 minutes. Now, what's 2 hours? Well, 2 hours equals 120 minutes. It's not quite 3 hours, because 3 hours is, yes, 180 minutes. So I've got 2 hours, 120 minutes, and I've got 54 minutes left over. Therefore, it's going to be 2 hours, 54 minutes. Is that alright? Lovely. So 2 hours is 120 minutes. That's an extra 54 minutes on top of 120 minutes. So I want 2 hours 54 minutes to cook my chicken, get it out and let it rest. Now I want to start chopping it up at 12:45, and therefore I must take this away from that to know what time I put it on, and these are quite difficult. Now watch this. 12:45 take away 2:54. It's deliberately difficult. Now look, you know that minutes are based on 60s and not 10s. So watch. I can't take 54 minutes away from 45 minutes. So what I'm going to do is take a whole hour off the 12, goes down to that, and give him the extra minutes. So I've given him a whole hour. I now have 60 minutes plus 45 minutes, 105 minutes. Now, let's do this. 105 take away 54. I will use my calculator because I'm allowed to. Comes to 51. Now, 11 hours take away 2 hours. That will give me 9 hours. I've got to put it on at 09:51 in the morning. Is that alright? And that will give me 2 hours 54 minutes, and that will cook my chicken, and I'm ready to carve at 12:45. You study this one because it's really difficult, very hard indeed. So that's the way I'd normally teach that. I could of course take away 3 hours, then add on the extra 6 minutes. So here's another way you could have done it. So I've got 12:45. Let's just say take away 3 hours. That will give me, let's take a look at that, 9:45. Now it doesn't want 3 hours, he wants 6 minutes less than 3 hours. So let's pay back the 6 minutes. And 9:45 plus the 6 minutes will be 9. Let's have a look. 51. It's completely correct. It works, doesn't it? So that's another way we could do it. All right. And that's quite a difficult question. And I will stop and prepare myself for the assess, and I'll be with you quite soon.